Kickstarters numbering 2, one of which is a doozy. And we've already looked at this, myself and John, a couple of weeks ago as a 3D print segment. But the actual Kickstarter is now running for Westphalia's Red Crusade, Red Brigade,
the
Trench Crusade. It's very rhymey.
Yeah. So this is an absolutely massive campaign already, insanely well funded. As of now, we've got about 9 days left on the campaign, and I think it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing. This is a official collaboration with the folks behind Trench Crusade, bringing a brand new range of 32mm miniatures to the tabletop. Sculpted by Westphalia's Max Morell. The Red Brigade is a kind of an offshoot, but also can be used alongside the rest of the stuff from New Antioch, which is one of the war bands in Trench Crusade. And it's a kind of like thematically linked war band of those who were left over after a variety of terrible coincidences. Coincidences? I say coincidences. Terrible, terrible war that happened.
Dog.
And they've all been brought together to serve as kind of like an offshoot, as I say, of New Antioch. While the warbands for Trench Crusade probably number only about 10 miniatures per side at most, the set that they've put together here is 40 plus miniatures for you to choose from.
Options.
So many options. There's a good variety of characters, so those that are going to lead your warbands alongside regular troops, those monstrous fellows as well, and there's even some vehicles in the mix, which is quite nice to see. They're all split between both physical and digital options. So if you wanted to go down the route of 3D printing these for yourself, as we did with some of the early stuff that we got our hands on, then you can do. But if you wanted to get the physical options, you can as well. There are plenty of pledge options for you there to choose from, including custom pledges. If you wanted to just come in when the pledge manager sort of rolls around, then you can just pick and choose what you want from both the add-ons and everything else as well. There are lots of single-piece miniatures in here, alongside a huge amount of multi-part kits as well. So they tend to break down into bodies and then a variety of different arms and heads and all sorts of different things. So you can really go to town with the customization of this stuff. If you then looked at the Red Brigade alongside what already exists for both New Antioch and by extension the rest of the Trench Crusade range, you would have an insanely, I'm just going to say, infinite amount of options when it came, or a number that I can't compute when it comes to options for building your various warbands and bringing them to the tabletop. And I think the Red Brigade stuff is just kind of, it's nailed Trench Crusade. It's that super awesome kind of medieval War of the Roses style armor and design alongside all that weaponry, and then all of that World War I/World War II stuff just thrown on top of it in a great big melting pot of awesomeness. And Sally Helms for days. Why would you not collect anything that has Sally Helms? Oh my God, it's so good.
Told you. You're coming around my way of thinking.
Yes. But as you can see, the core pledge is just packed with stuff. There's so many different bits and pieces you could choose from, including the trench gods.
The two little sausage dogs covered in potato mashers.
Who wouldn't want those? Rules and everything for these guys already available and free. Yep. So there's a zine you can download, which comes with all the bits and pieces you need to run these guys on the tabletop, alongside a full campaign for you to play through for them as well. There's also a really nice set of rules for stealth gameplay, which kind of works very nicely with the lore and the background for the Red Brigade. And there's also a bonus campaign at the end, which has kind of got like a Seven Samurai Magnificent Seven feel to it, where the Red Brigade, or any other warband, if you wanted to take it a different way, can help a band of hapless peasants defend themselves against bandits who are raging across Europe during this particular period of Trench Crusade's history as well. So it's a stupidly good campaign when it comes to miniatures. Obviously, Westphalia do a phenomenal job anyway, but sort of they've really sort of gone with the whole Trench Crusade vibe and turned it up to 11, and then probably broken the knob off as well. But yeah, there's some fantastic stuff in there. I'm well impressed with this.
Yeah, I really like the delineation between your shock troops, the more elite being more classically armored with
Yeah.
some bits of World War II modern gear, like the gas mask or gun, whatever. And then you've got your lower echelons who are mostly wearing World War II style equipment, and then maybe have a bit of something like a Sally helm or whatever
on a shoulder or the helmet or something like that.
So they're a little more regularly armed and equipped.
Mm-hmm.
Those are just brutal deluxe. I love them. He's a monster.
Yep. Yeah.
Splish Splash, but I didn't realize they pay them. Have they said he looks like Cronin from Hellboy?
He does, yeah.
Have they said how the physical versions are coming? Are they?
So I believe, people correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I believe it's all being done by Strange Plastic over in the US, and then
Josh. Oh, yes. That's cool.
So Strange Plastic are their sort of partner on that front for this. Although I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe do something in the future. I mean, it's not part of the campaign. Yes, I thought that was a good touch. It'll be fun to see if they do something in the future, maybe where they make the 3D files available to merchant printers, and then they can do them through the likes of Etsy and all that kind of thing. But as it stands, I think it's through Strange Plastic. But yeah, sorry, John.
What's the other one? Only Games?
Only Games, yes, which is the My Manufacturer. They're the guys that are doing the fulfillment for the core Trench Crusade campaign, which did its Pledge Manager stuff recently. So if you've not filled that in, I think you've still got some time to do that. I did it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shocking.
The stretch goals are really nice. Actually, you saw a few of them there. They've done a few heretics.
That's what I'm after there.
Yeah, the Crimson Angels.
So cool. Crimson Angel bikes are only available as an add-on. They're not part of a core pledge. But it also means if you're just after World War I bikers in medieval armor, there they are.
You've got them. But yeah, as I was saying, I really like the heretic characters that they've added in as the stretch goals. They're really nice. I really want to kind of get my hands on some of those separately later on, I think. And then Lawrence of Arabia.
Styly, yes.
Interestingly, they said in the zine that while they're covering the Red Brigade stuff in issue 1, issue 2 will have full rules for the Gunslinger Lieutenant, the Lawrence of Arabia style character, alongside a few more of his friends, shall we say. So I don't think that Westfalia are going to be stopping with the Red Brigade. I imagine they're going to be doing a lot more in the future. So.
I know Cave likes looking at the Near East for a lot of things, be it Napoleonics or whatever. And it's something that doesn't get a huge viewing a lot of the time from other companies because they're so focused on here's what happened in the Somme. Here's the stuff you need for the Western Front and that sort of thing. So yeah, expanding the Red Brigade, and it fits in with their storyline in that they fought at Acre.
Yes.
So they started that neck of the woods. So having more Arabian style fighters being part of it makes a lot of sense as well. Like
one of the things that I think is quite good about this as well is that it keeps the hype going for Trench Crusade, because obviously it had that massive Kickstarter towards the end of last year, but there's the danger, especially with things that comes out stupidly well, that it kind of goes out of people's minds, and then eventually it'll pop up again in the summer and people will go, oh yeah, that game, and then it'll go in a draw. Whereas I think having Westfalia and by extension hopefully other creators getting involved and sort of keeping the Trench Crusade vibe going, designing their own troops and all that kind of thing, that'll help to keep people interested in the game before the actual full release of it, the physical rule books and all that stuff later in this year. So yeah, it's just all good. I mean, I look at the miniatures and I think they look absolutely bloody amazing.
That add-on there by itself is more than sufficient for a full Trench Crusade force.
Oh yeah.
If you want to run Red Brigade for Antioch, you don't need to get all the others.
No, just buy that.
Obviously, you've got options if you got all the others, but that's not particularly egregious. What's that? $75, so about £75 at the moment as well. Plus shipping, or 40 for the STLs, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. That can't be right because it's 12 listed there. Anyway, go by the listing, I suppose, and not by my random counting as I jiggle the mouse. Probably a better way of doing it. But yeah, some cracking stuff in there. for Westfalia and for Trench Crusade. I love the iconography in the trenches. It's not going to help you, lads. Not going to help you at all. When they detonated mines under World War I trenches, and that was quite bad. Imagine what's like in Trench Crusade, where essentially it's somebody's just blowing up a portal to hell directly under your feet. That must suck.
It really would.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Yeah.
Got more to worry about than shell shock in in Trench Crusade.
It's when the explosion happens and you don't get thrown into the air, but you get pulled down into something.
God, sucked to hell.
Oh man, that has just created an amazing visual in my mind.
Hasn't it?
Yeah, it's just like a big red circle opening in the ground, just swallow it all up.
Yeah,
you're welcome, people.
Design that terrain piece.
Right.